She did not rely on written recipes, yet she regarded fiestas as a serious challenge, and during those and other special events, she engineered the huge dinner table to be loaded with Filipino dishes that were exquisite or exotic or regular daily or all of the above. All the while directing a seamstress how to execute her own designs of both girls' dresses after having cut and permed both of their hair, and supervised the hanging of curtains, which she had bought and exported from Manila herself, and laid out on the bed twin sets of outfits for the two boys, right down to socks and shoes that were shined by Papa, and told Papa not to go out in the wind, lest his hair is messed up, or worse, his chest is exposed to the cold, and he gets sick, while making sure her own father, my great-grandfather Leon, had taken the correct dosage of his medicines, etc. And that was for one event. And she lived for 87 years. In her last couple of decades here in the US, she did not let up on her productivity. She was somewhat restricted as she had immigrated with nothing but some luggage, but she also had the greatest partner in life one could ever have, her husband, my grandfather, Samuel. But Mama was not to slow down. She kept on guiding and helping all of us, her children and her grandchildren. Can one summarize one's life in a few words? In Mama's case, we feel that it can be done in one: love. She was and is love personified. God rest her soul.
I would like to sing 3 verses of this great old tune, which speaks of the Lord helping us when we get weak here on this earth, ultimately to the point where we're standing at that River Jordan and the Lord is leading us home. And we all know that the Lord has indeed led Lily home.
Precious Lord, take my hand, lead me on, let me stand. I am tired, I am weak,
Good afternoon, friends and relatives. My name is Ariel, and I'm the third child of Sam and Lily. On the morning of Wednesday, March 27, Mama was ushered into God's glory. She had suffered a long bout of terrible illness that ended her earthly life and left us in sadness and grief. We gathered around her that morning, crying in sorrow, praying for strength, singing hymns and comforting each other. With broken hearts, we have witnessed God's power and sovereignty over all. Days later, our grief came and went with sudden spells of silence and outpouring of tears, as memories of Mama's suffering and demise came flooding in. But almost as suddenly, we would remember her vibrant smile, motherly love, and tender touch. And we would laugh almost among each other, thanking God for sharing with us the rich life of our beloved Mama. Mama was born in April of 1926 in the small town of San Narciso in the Philippines. She was the youngest among 7 siblings born to God-loving parents, Don Leon Apenir and Doña Rosa Gaudencia Amon. Mama was the keeper of our family history. I was always amazed at how sharp her memories were of the past, and how she tenderly recounted her experiences as a young lady during the war. She was an awesome storyteller, drawing us in to listen with wonder and delight as she eagerly and lovingly spoke of Papa and shared historical facts about our roots. Sometimes, with traces of sadness in her eyes, she would tell us of difficult times during the Second World War and how her family survived that war. How they would run to remote fields, rice fields, and hide in dugouts to avoid being captured by the enemy. She told us about 2 of her beloved brothers, Gaudencio and Samuel, who bravely joined the army and gave their lives for their country. She described our maternal lineage, about her 3 sisters, 3 brothers, her mother as a successful businesswoman, and proudly told about her father, who, as the town's postmaster general, was one of the most respected and influential men in San Narciso. Other times, between her bright smiles and shy laughter, she would share with us early days of how she met this handsome 19-year-old guy named Samuel Ramos. In 1943, Papa and Mama first met while attending Epworth Lee youth activity in Methodist Episcopal Church in San Narciso. Mama was the church choir organist and Papa sang in the choir. Papa would later add how untiringly he chased after Mama and how Mama had fallen head over heels in love with him. They cultivated a romance that was to last 67 years. That's including their courtship. Their wedding in November of 1948 turned out to be one of the grandest in the history of that town, as these two reputable families joined in union. A year later, Papa bought a parcel of land in a little further south in a town called Olongapo. Papa continued to work for the U.S. Navy as a federal employee in Subic Naval Base, and Mama, meanwhile, started her teaching profession as a home economics teacher at Bahak Elementary School. Those days, Mama, acting out of compassion and charity, took a young girl, a mentally challenged child, to rise to success by patiently tutoring the child in reading every week. It didn't take very long for this cheerful and innovative new teacher to gain the respect and admiration of her students and co-teachers. In the same year, Papa and Mama moved into a newly built house which became the Ramos residence. In this house, Mama slowly, lovingly, and painstakingly nurtured each of us. She tirelessly poured her energy and selfless devotion into caring and praying for us whenever we were tired, hungry, and discouraged. She was always there at our side, whether sick or well, in failure or success. She was our #1 fan and made us feel that we deserved a gold medal or standing ovation for every small victories that we had. She shared our visions and dreams with passion and enthusiasm. I'll never forget Mama, as she indulged as siblings with our Beatle mania in the 60s by getting us the newest Beatle release every time. I remember vividly when Mama and Papa took us to finally see the Beatles in concert and leading us, her children, to climb over barricades and dashing across soccer fields just to get a closer look at this famous band. She was vibrant, full of life and ideas. She gave us memories of exciting summer trips to Tagaytay, to Quezon City, and her hometown of San Narciso. Mama built in us wonderful Christmas and New Year's Eve traditions that brought nostalgic delight every time. The beautiful sights of the handcrafted Christmas lanterns called parol, our uniquely designed Christmas tree, the sweet aroma of cooking ube, bocayo, or ginataan delicacies, and the beckoning sounds of home. Mama was an extraordinary mother who yearned to always hold her children in her embrace, kissing us, showering us with prayers and blessings. Sometimes when we got too embarrassed with the show of affection, she would turn to our children and did what came natural for her. She showered her grandchildren with exceptional show of love. I will miss Mama. I will miss walking into her apartment and feeling her face buried into my cheek in a warm and comfortable kiss and welcoming embrace. I will miss all of that. Mama was a godly woman who loved the Lord and wasn't shy about it. She always joyfully praised God, and she would always hear her say, "Ay, salamat po, Ako Diyos," thanking God for all the things. She faithfully served God by giving back her God-endowed musical talents to the ministry. From her teen years to the late 80s, she graciously contributed her golden alto voice, complementing various church choirs and other singing groups like the Spirit Catchers Choir and Little River Glen Chorus. Many of us here have experienced a great love for singing. If you sang beside Mama, you would have been blessed by her beautiful harmony. She gave all herself to serving God and her family until her health got in the way. Her spirit indeed was willing, but her flesh became weak. In the last few days before Mama left us, she would ask me to read some of her favorite songs to her. The words of the Lord gave her comfort and strength. She was especially moved by the news that her Christian brothers and sisters from this congregation and from churches in Virginia Beach, New York, Oahu, and the Philippines were lovingly lifting her up in prayers for healing, strength, comfort, and peace. In the end, our beloved Father in heaven had granted her the comfort and the kind of peace that only He can give. God's will, after all, is the perfect plan. I am certain that when God breathed the scriptures of Proverbs 31, God had Mama in his heart. The last verse is read. Many women have done excellently, but you surpass them all. Charm is deceitful and beauty is vain. But a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. Give her a share in the fruit of her hands and let her works praise her in the city gates. She is known to Lily among her friends.